100,000? I hate time. We record?
Bandit calls to be the 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 boss.
A lot of people, I think, put either Civil War or Winter Soldier at the top of the Captain America movie list. I'm here to tell you which one is the best. We don't got to worry about the first one because, I mean, let's be honest. It's my favorite character in general, but the first movie was not really all that good. I want to start off saying, most people I've heard, everybody say that The Winter Soldier is the better movie. I'm going to have to disagree, but I'm going to tell you why. And when I tell you why, it's no disputing these is facts about these movies. Now, granted, this was a very tough decision to make for even myself because The Winter Soldier is like, if it's not the best out of the two, it's still like at least top 5, maybe top 3 Marvel movies in general. Real good movie, but I do have some issues, and I'll let you know where they are. Let's talk about the good stuff first, because I can see why anybody would pick that as the best Captain America, if not Marvel movie. It's a lot of iconic scenes in the Winter Soldier movie. You got the elevator scene where everybody, Captain America realizes that everybody's finna turn on him. So he's stuck in an elevator with all these dudes. Hey, let's break this scene down for a minute. You see, when he in there, he kind of already just feel the tension before he get to the elevator. And right as he walk in, he like, these dudes don't even work on this floor of the building. Why are they all in the elevator at the same time? It's already like 4 dudes in the elevator from the jump. Then the doors open and more dudes start coming in, and it happened like twice. And then, I love to zoom in because this in particular showed just how dangerous Captain America is, because the dudes in the elevator and the dudes getting on the elevator, they all know what they were assigned to do, which was pretty much catch the hands from Captain America, because you couldn't expect that you was going to beat this dude. But the zoom in on the black guy, he was the least prepared. Your man was mad nervous. He really the one that gave off the whole vibe of, I think these dudes is finna jump me. Because he was sweating bullets. And then, at the point where Stone Cold Steve Austin or Goldberg, or whoever that was, walked into the door, that's when Cap was like, all right, I'm finna have to pass out some hands. And then you get the classic tough guy line where he said,
before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
And the fight ensues. We can watch it. Of course we can watch it. Like, I've played it on this channel before, but why wouldn't we watch it again? Top-notch scenery. Then, of course, I also appreciate how he just jumped out of maybe like the 15th story of a building, hit the ground and ran off. ooh, that's premium Captain America. And then I think it's the beginning of the movie where he beat up Batroc the Leaper. For most people, don't know who that is, understandably, because he is not an important comic book character at all. But he is in the movie, so props to that. Not the biggest props ever, but I like how they pulled the old Cap villain from deep out the bag. But he beat the brakes off of him. We can roll that clip. Again, good. It looked like I'm stacking this movie up to be the best, but I promise you, I will explain why Civil War is better. Right before that, I want to talk about how Captain America, almost Street Fighter style. Remember on Street Fighter where you come out on the bonus round and beat the crap out of a Honda Civic? He took that up like 10 levels and beat up a jet. Perfect. The stuff he did on the jet didn't really make too much sense. I know that's ridiculous. I don't care. It was real sweet. I think what might be the greatest, or at least one of the greatest, choreographed fight sequences ever. When Captain America met up with, I was gonna call him Bucky, but for the sake of the title of the movie, when he met up with the Winter Soldier on the highway, and they had that knife fight where he was like dropping a knife and grabbing it with the other hand and trying to cut him with it. That blew my mind watching that. Let's watch it. One of the best things I've ever seen on film. But I have to point out, the movie kind of gets stale a little bit. This is where I have the issue of Civil War is probably better, because the ending, the actual ending of Winter Soldier, I'm sorry, but it's weak. First of all, before I even explain why it's weak, what was the ending to Winter Soldier? Do you remember it? I didn't think so, because I don't really remember it either. I just pretty much remember the story kind of like leveling off and almost going downhill. Toward the end, he had one more fight with Bucky, but it wasn't even as intense, because he was, at one point, he just gave up and was like, well, forget it. Just beat me up. I don't care. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm like, it got a little too, I can't call it bromance, because the other bro wasn't reciprocating the feeling, but it was like, I mean, I ain't need you to kill your own boy, but I would have liked a better ending than letting them punch you till you just went unconscious on the floor, UFC style. And it was like, I don't know, man. This ending is kind of weak, and I don't really even remember what happened after he like laid on the ground, passed out. I know Bucky knocked him out, I think. I don't know, but that's my point. Ending is weak. Whereas Civil War, now, as great as some of those scenes were, wait a minute, I also meant to mention the impact of the Hail Hydra memes. That lasted the rest of the year, so I gotta give that some credit too. But when you get to Civil War, it's too much to compete with. Because first of all, people forget Civil War is not an Avengers movie. It's a Captain America movie. But it feels like an Avengers movie. It's some of the best scenes in the MCU to date in that movie. Aside from the whole knife fight on the freeway, they got everything else. And they are introducing some very important characters that we all love at this point. First, let's just start off with the fact that we get Spider-Man in this movie after wondering if we would ever get Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe on screen ever again. So that was and I know a lot of y'all are like, man, that's not my Spider-Man. He's a hipster, teeny bopping Miley Cyrus listening to, like, hey, man. For all of the nostalgic grandfathers out there, Tobey Maguire is cool and all. But the dude is like 40-some years old. Let Tom get his chance to shine, because if you ask me, he is, for the age that they depict in Spider-Man, absolutely perfect, because Tobey was older than I am right now playing a 17-year-old in Spider-Man 1.
I don't want to fight you, Flash.
I wouldn't want to fight me neither.
And it looked ridiculous. Still love the movie though. But aside from that, you get Spider-Man's intro into the MCU is in Civil War. And we also get Black Panther. Now, Black Panther was on 10 in this movie. A scene, I don't even know if I could call it one scene, because it was nonstop. That's what was great about Civil War. It started off high, but then it just kept going. You had the beginning of the movie, you just had kind of a little something light. They beat up some random dudes. I noticed that Captain America kicked a truck at somebody. Nobody ever did that move before. Outstanding. Then it get to the real stuff, because they start stalking Bucky. Like, at this point, he's Bucky, and he's like, he know what's going on, but he ducking the feds and all of that. When he went to get him and kind of like, all right, you need to roll with us because they're looking for you, but it didn't work out like that, and the feds showed up. Oh my God! Roll the clip.
Come on.
That sequence of events, and I'm gonna stop right there for now, because it gets out of hand from there. But that sequence of events, he beat all them dudes up on the stairs, but still is like, don't kill nobody. What is you doing?
I'm not gonna kill anyone.
And so he didn't, just out of respect for Captain America, even though they both are war veterans and murderers anyway. But at least not on camera. Let's keep it clean for the camera. This is a PG-13 movie, bro. Don't kill none of these guys. So he didn't, and they had a outstanding fight sequence in the stairwell. But then he jumps across the block. He jumped across the block, and all of a sudden, Black Panther is on top of the building. It's like, oh my God. And it's the first time we get to see Black Panther. Sweet. So they scrap, but where it gets like past 10 for me, they have one of the best chase scenes in a movie without a car. Some people was in a car, but most of them wasn't. When they started running, and I like how they brought out which character actually was faster than the other character. Because Winter Soldier, Captain America is both steroided up or whatever. So they definitely faster than normal people by a lot, right? Because Bucky is running down the turnpike or whatever. Looks like he's going pretty fast, but then, and he had a head start though. So he looked behind him and Black Panther is gaining on him rapidly. This dude is running like 50 miles per hour, maybe 60. He could get on the lodge and just pass a few cars. I mean, maybe I'm like jumping in lanes ahead of people. Because he started running on top of the cars, jumping over them. So then Bucky, which was also insanely cool, snatched the dude off the motorcycle and spun it around and then just got on that. It was like, I can't beat this dude on foot. But then you look behind the two of them, and of course you got Falcon just kind of there.
Right behind you.
And he got wings, so whatever. But he also was the furthest behind. But we don't need to talk about Falcon. Captain America is on foot because he had the least of a head start. So he's behind those two, hauling it, right? And it's like, well, he probably doing 35, 40, but not good enough, right? So he gets in a car, and now it's a dude chasing a dude on foot. It's a dude on a motorcycle getting chased by a dude on foot, getting chased by a dude in an SUV. And it's like, this is insane. And at some point, a Black Panther is on Captain America's truck, and then it ended up tipping over, and the craziest maneuver possible happened when the van, whatever he's driving, start flipping over, and he just stepped out of the truck. While it was rolling, and I'm like, this is out of hand. And that's not even the best part of the movie. Then you got the big airport scene where everybody else shows up, and you start to forget that this is just a Captain America movie, because Iron Man is there, War Machine is there, he's flying dead stick.
Don't even flying dead stick.
You got Black Widow, Hawkeye is also embarrassing, Vision, Scarlet Witch, Ant-Man, Black Panther, and Spider-Man. And that's without mentioning Captain America and Winter Soldier. So it's a whole ensemble of characters right now. And they just all fight for you. It's like, you want to see these guys fight for, honestly, not even that many stakes in this battle itself. At some point, the characters in the scene start to discuss that they're kind of playing around, and it's like, whatever, man, just let the fans have it. This is amazing. And then you get classic Spider-Man versus Captain America, but it's like kid Spider-Man, and Captain America is kind of like, man, this guy is good, but I'm getting annoyed. Man, but he give him his props at the end of it.
You got hard, kid. Where you from?
Queens.
Brooklyn.
It's like, I'm so happy watching this movie, but it's still not at the best part of the movie. Now, the best part of the movie is the best part to me because I've been in a nerd. I've been in this for decades. So if you've been this deep and deeply ingrained into this, you look at some of these scenes, and this didn't happen in Winter Soldier for me, but in Civil War, they recreated a classic comic book cover, and it was like, I can't believe they did it. Like, that's it. It was perfect. When Captain America and Bucky started fighting Iron Man, come on. What? Tell me what in Winter Soldier was topping that, because when it got to the point where Bucky is kind of beat up already, and Captain America is like lunging at Iron Man with the shield up, and he goes like this, and he got the laser beams like right on it. That's the exact one for one actual artwork, and I'm like, yes, like when it comes to stuff like this, when you could bring it to a broad demographic, but still cater to the dudes that made you, the me's, and all of the rest of the dudes like me that are all losers. Come on, man, hook us losers up, and that's what they did for the entire movie, because they still had a little bit to go after they did that classic cover. You get my favorite part of the movie, where Iron Man realized that he can't, nobody can just fight Captain America, because his suit told him, like, bro, you cannot beat him hand to hand.
You can't beat him hand to hand.
And that was awesome. So, and then you got the maybe, what was it, like 10 minutes left in the movie after that whole scene. The ending of that was so much more powerful than the ending of Winter Soldier, because as good as the Winter Soldier was, and as much as I still enjoy it and will watch it at any time all the way through, I can't tell you what the ramifications of that movie was. Like, other than knocking the mind control out of Bucky, I don't, like, it didn't have much to do with anybody else, like any of the other Avengers. It's a weak ending. Whereas Civil War, that movie went directly into Black Panther, Spider-Man. Like, they took Bucky back to Wakanda at the end of the movie. They put Baron Zemo into that jail, and then he's supposed to be on the show later. And then you got Wanda and Vision kind of branched away from that movie into their little story. Everybody said forget what Iron Man is talking about and ditched his team. But it's like things happen because of that movie. I kind of feel like the results from Winter Soldier was just, man, remember when he was in that elevator? The latter of the movie was like, it was kind of mid. It was, be honest, the ending of Winter Soldier was really some mid. Whereas the Civil War, it was that was like 11 out of 10. So again, I say to you, think, because I mean, I know we all hold on to our favorites dearly here, but just be honest with yourself. After hearing these reasons, because I do love both movies, but come on, man, Civil War is just a little bit better.
He good. You must be crazy.